Now, being holy for God means that He cannot be affixed to anything that is morally imperfect. You see, this means that the Lord cannot condone sin in any way. And this is why we see passages like Habakkuk 1:13, which says, "Your eyes are too pure to approve evil, and you cannot look on wickedness with favor." Again, your eyes are too pure to approve evil, and you cannot look on wickedness with favor. You see, and understanding this subject as it relates to soteriology, again, is helpful for us, because remember that there's only one thing that God can do with sin, and that is to condemn it. Now, the issue is He going to condemn it in the offender, that's us, or is He going to judge it in a substitute? Because that's what the cross is about. And I've mentioned this before, it's why I keep going back to it, because at the cross, God judged all of our sin as His righteousness required. As His righteousness required, because at the cross, remember from noon to 3 when the sky grew dark, at that time God takes all the sin of humanity and places it upon Christ, and there judges Him in our place. And we've looked at a number of passages, and I think just off the top of my head, Mark 10:45, where Jesus said, "The Son of Man has not come to be served, but to serve, and to give His life a ransom for many." For many. And the word "for" there in that passage translates the Greek preposition onti. Onti, which is one of two prepositions. It's the stronger of the two. But it's the preposition there of substitution. That He gave His life as a substitute, a ransom as a substitute for many. And then, of course, Romans 5:8, which says, "For God demonstrates His own love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." And the word "for" there translates the Greek preposition huper, which again is the preposition of substitution. And then 1 Peter 3:18, that Christ also died for sins once for all, the just for the unjust. And "for" there gives us that Greek preposition huper. Again, one of the two prepositions that communicates the idea of substitution. And so there it communicates, and these are just a few passages off the top of my head. We've hit this in greater detail in the past, so this should just be a refresher for you. But it's the understanding that Christ died as our substitute. He died in our place, the just for the unjust, Peter tells us, so that He might bring us to God, because we can't bring ourselves to God. And so what Christ accomplished on the cross is the only thing that satisfied God's righteous demands concerning our sin, because we can produce sin, but we can't deal with sin. We can produce it, but we can't deal with it. Only God can deal with our sin. And He did deal with it. He dealt with it at the cross.